Non-Stop Rock Talk with Tyson Bryden. Damon, man, it's so great to have you on Non-Stop Rock Talk today. I can't believe here we are, like 25 years later from the first time we actually met. I was just a kid, more or less, I think my early 20s, so who was pretty much merely a fan asking you so many crazy questions about your songs. But I mean, you always took the time to chat, sometimes it'd be an hour at a time, which was awesome. And that was kind of back in the days of Brother Kane. This was long before playing with the likes of Alice Cooper, John Waite, Damn Yankees, Thin Lizzy, and Black Star Riders. And then, I mean, there's multiple other bands in there as well. So anyways, how you doing, man?
I'm doing really well, Tyson. It's always great to talk to you. You always had great questions, even way back then when you were a much younger man. So it's great to talk to you, and it's exciting for me, like when I see your name and a couple of the other names that I recognize on my schedule. Yeah. In these crazy times we're in, man, I feel so fortunate to have new music coming out, interviews to do, activity happening. I don't know what I'm going to do when that runs its course. Then I'm back to no concerts and trying to get the kids, online with their virtual schoolwork, which is like chaos every single day almost. So,
yeah,
but this week is a good week. So I'm really grateful.
That's awesome. So I mean, I understand you'll be releasing a new album this December entitled Battle Sessions. That's an interesting title. What is kind of the premise behind that title?
Battle Lessons. Yeah, Battle Lessons.
Battle Lessons. Okay, sorry about that.
Yeah, that's okay, man. That's all right. Battle Lessons started very innocently as just, 2 words on a page of some stuff that my friend Jim Choglin and I had been batting around. It's like, because he and I we co-wrote most of the songs on my last album, Memoirs of an Uprising, and I love writing with Jim. We've been friends for almost 30 years now, and we just kind of pass things back and forth. We'll text it or email, because he lives about 2 hours south of me, so we're not in the same town. And Battle Lessons was just laying in there somewhere, and I literally cherry-picked it off of this page to go into a lyric on another song. And then as that song developed, the lyric took on a real specific meaning for me. And, as you do, you get a body of songs together and you finally reach that point where you go, wow, this is going to be an album. What am I going to call this album? And I'm a fan of records that have its own name. That's why I did Memoirs of an Uprising like that. There's not a song called that, yeah. But it kind of gives a theme or a title to a collection of songs. But Battle Lessons is such a powerful concept to me in the sense of we all go through experiences, we grow, we get older, we learn, we make decisions, some work out, some don't work out. Sometimes we get into trouble. Sometimes we've made a bad decision and we've gotten into a situation that's very difficult to get out of. So I guess that's why people have always said, well, it gets better as you get older. Because, getting older, man, you take all of those battle lessons into forming who you are now, how you feel about the world, how you feel about your fellow man, and, how you choose to kind of live going forward. And I'm just so fulfilled, man, to be in a great place in my life. My family's doing fantastic and they're healthy, and starting my full-time solo career a couple of years ago was just the best decision I've ever made. And we're getting the fulfillment of that, So it's, I guess in a way, it's almost a little ironic that a guy that is in a lot of ways content would make such a bombastic, tempo-driven, heavy rock record. But I guess I just wanted to hear that kind of stuff. That's just what I felt like I wanted to say. So I couldn't be happier and couldn't feel better about calling it Battle Lessons, the whole album, as well as the the name of the first single.
Yeah, which I mean is I've listened to it a few times and really really dig it. I think your fan base is not going to be disappointed. But you know what? It's still, even though it's heavy, but it still sounds fresh. I love that you kind of never redo yourself. You always come up with something new and interesting, which I think is fantastic.
Well, man, thank you for saying that. I guess that happens by accident. Rarely when I'm writing do I worry too much about any of my ideas sounding like something else, whether it be an old song of mine or a song of someone else's.
Yeah.
You can get a little too bogged down in that if you're not careful in the beginning. I just always have confidence that by the time I, work the song up with the band, by the time we go through the arrangements with the producer and we actually record it and put some, layers on it and some cool overdubs and extra parts, it generally takes on a life of its own, and it certainly happened that way. With really all of these songs, Battle Lessons in particular, you'll get a laugh out of this, Tyson.
Yeah.
Battle Lessons started as a piece of music that Jim sent me, just a little demo he had made, and he'll send me a text message with an audio file. And hand on my heart, man, he sent it to me, and I'm like, what is he doing? This sounds like The Trooper by Iron Maiden. It's just not a reference that I love Iron Maiden, but I've never in my life thought, I want to write something that, I want to show my Iron Maiden influence in this next song. So, man, the song kind of sat on my desk for quite a while, and there was another 7 or 8 songs that I wrote in front of that one. And I just happened to come back to it one day when I was getting together with Jim. We were going to meet in person, and I said, well, let's take a look at this one more time. And I just started singing this vocal melody over it, and it really got Jim excited. And I could tell instantly that it was a good idea, and it took it away from whatever initial idea I had. So it's just an interesting commentary, that it made me feel that way. And I'm kind of waiting on somebody to go, "Hey, man, love your new song. Sounds like Iron Maiden."
I can honestly say I didn't get that from it, but.
Yeah.
But I mean, when I listen to it again, I'll probably say, "Oh yeah, okay, I get it." So
yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Now,
maybe you will.
That's kind of funny though. Now the album's available for pre-order. Possibly you can give it a plug on how people can purchase it.
Yeah, man. The easiest way to do it is just go to my website, damonjohnson.com, and if you just look around the little news section, you'll see. There's even a big slide on my homepage that pops up. It says new album pre-order. You just click on that, man. It gives you all the information. I'm really thrilled to tell you that we reached the goal that we had set for ourselves.
Awesome.
A couple of days ago, man. And so, I'm just really humbled by my fan base. They've done a great job, as they always do, but there's also been a lot of new fans that have gotten on board, in particular, with all the touring that I've done in the last 12 months over the last record. We've made some new fans as well, so it feels really good.
That's wicked. What I found intriguing about the album is it's produced by Nick Raskulinecz, who has worked with the likes of Foo Fighters, Alice in Chains, Evanescence, Rush, Stone Sour, and Black Star Riders, just to name a few. Why did you choose him again, and what do you think he brings to the table in terms of bringing your music forth?
There's a lot of reasons. The biggest reason is that I've worked with Nick now 4 times, and I had never, Nick Raskulinecz had never heard the name Damon Johnson until we met shortly after my family moved to Nashville in 2013. And I certainly knew who he was. I was a fan of several records he had made and produced. I was a fan of his involvement in that great documentary, Sound City, about the famous studio in Los Angeles where all those great records were made. So we made the first Black Star Riders album together with Killer Instinct, the band's second record. And then in between that and Heavy Fire, Nick produced an EP for me called Echo that I believe you're familiar with.
Yep.
And, that was, I feel like that was fate, Tyson, because making that EP with Nick really literally put me on the path towards focusing and thinking about maybe going it alone and just being a solo artist and making my own music. We both know how the music business has changed so drastically, especially in the last 10 years. And I know, I don't just think, I know that a lot of those changes have absolutely been for the better, especially for someone like me that is a self-contained writer, singer, guitarist, performer. Man, there's no excuse for not just taking this time to do your own thing. It's just not that hard anymore to get your music out there to the people. I'm very fortunate to have even the small fan base that I do have. You don't have to be some giant artist, man, to be able to create, put out music, play shows, and just live the life. This is all I've ever wanted, man, to just play music for a living.
Yeah.
And be with my family. So why not get to do that with my own music rather than being committed to some other bigger entity that you really don't have any control over your calendar? So I said all that to say Nick got me started on that path. Awesome. And he was a real great counsel for me when I was thinking about leaving Black Star Riders, because it was hard for me, man. I love that band. I love the guys. I love the work we've done to this day. I'm in touch with every one of them, and we're great friends, and I imagine we will be going forward. So Nick was really encouraging. He was busy when I made Memoirs of an Uprising, so he let me use the studio to track the drums and stuff, but I produced that record myself. He mixed it. So Tyson, imagine how great it made me feel when I brought him the demos for the the newest batch of songs.
Yeah.
And he got about 3 songs in, and he goes, "Wow, man." He goes, you're stepping it up. You've gone to a whole other level. He said, "I got to figure out a way to carve out some time." He said, "If you want me to, let's work on this together." So obviously I was thrilled, and I'm so happy.
That's fantastic. And I cannot wait to hear the album. I mean, I really loved Memoirs of an Uprising, so I'm kind of excited to hear this. I mean, it's like everything that you do, and like I said, you always bring it. So I know I'm not going to be disappointed, and I know that first song, hearing that, and I'm like, wow, this is really good. So now,
well, thank you very much, Tyson.
You're most welcome. Now let's talk about your band, man. I mean, I got to see you guys in last December in Memphis. The lineup, I mean, it was awesome. You guys were amazing, and I wasn't sure how it was going to be as a 3-piece, because I was always used to seeing Brother Kane as a 4-piece with another guitar player. But man, you totally pulled it off. So, but now I understand the band has a name.
Yes. Thank you. I'm so pleased. I'm really proud of this name. I got to give credit to my manager, Kevin. He just felt like it was time. This is before he even knew what the new song sounded like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we just felt like it was time to kind of differentiate from whatever solo stuff I've put out over the last couple of decades. Because as you know, a lot of that stuff was almost more acoustic based.
Yeah.
And you put a band moniker with your actual name, it just lets people know, like, all right, there's more than one dude going to show up to do this show.
Yeah.
So, band names are always a challenge because so much has already been said and done. So, Kevin and I just started compiling a list, each of us, and we got together and had a meeting and read them off to each other.
Yeah.
And he said to get ready, and it got my attention immediately. And the thing I like about it, Tyson, is that it doesn't put me in a box musically. Like, I can do anything I want. We can do anything we want. If I want to, if I do want to bring it back down to some more mid-tempo stuff, break out the acoustic.
Yeah.
Even add other players, man. Add other musicians. The Get Ready doesn't always have to be a trio. It could be. We can bring in another guitar. We could bring in, background singers. We could bring in a keyboard player. I mean, who cares? Who knows?
Yeah.
I feel a bit like a kid in a candy store. Like I can just like do whatever I want. So, thank you for mentioning the Get Ready. It's exciting, man. We're gonna have a separate profile on all the streaming sites.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So that's gonna be cool, man.
That's great.
I feel like I'm like Tom Petty or Neil Young. It's like,
Yeah,
those guys have two profiles. There's the solo name and then there's the band name.
Yep.
So I'm really, really, really excited with that name.
That's cool. Yeah, it's a great. I like the name. I saw it. I was like, oh, that's very cool. So that's awesome.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you.
Now, I mean, and I was just thinking about that, about you as a solo artist and with this band. And you mentioned, like, if I want to bring a keyboard player in, if I want to bring in another guitar player, do you feel now it's a lot easier than it was back with Brother Kane, like being able to do exactly what you want? Or was the label really good about that back with Virgin Records?
Wow. That's an interesting question. I mean, I don't think Virgin Records was really too fussed about what the lineup of the band was, or, all they cared about was that we had success. We just had to deliver great songs, and, we could have become a trio or we could have become a 5 or a 6 piece. I don't think they would have mattered. There wasn't any, there was certainly no precious nature to Brother Kane having to be 2 guitars, bass, and drums, and that's it. But your question just also made me recognize that because I have played so many solo acoustic performances since 2000, the year 2000, I do think that has informed, what I'm doing as a trio, because I've just got so much more confidence about kind of covering that much real estate. And the cool thing about the trio is it just keeps the focus to me on the songs. Both Jared and Robbie are very much fans of songs and songwriting. And, it's not a fusion trio. We're not up there to just play a bunch of solos to entertain ourselves. It's, you know me, man. It's always been about the songs.
Yeah.
And whatever parts are missing, that we can't play only as a trio. All these new songs, man, on Battle Lessons, the record, man, they're loaded with guitars. There's parts flying around, all over the place. So it's going to be impossible for me to pull all that off, but who cares? If it's a good song, you're keeping the focus on the song. I'll put my attention on the part of the riff that matters the most and that makes the song presentable, and connect with the listener in a live setting. So yeah. So as you were saying, back to Brother Kane, it's I've always loved 2 guitar bands. I loved them my whole life, certainly my developmental years and playing in bars and the bands that I was fans of, most of them had 2 guitars. So that's totally the reason why I put Brother Kane together the way that I did. But the trio is very freeing, man.
Yeah.
It's really simple. A lot of times, man, when we've got dates kind of close, not too far from Nashville, we will literally stick our gear in my Suburban. You can fit all the gear in that one truck, man, and hit the road. We don't have to take a bus or rent a big trailer or any of that stuff. So it's a lot of fun.
That's cool. Now going back to Memoirs, and I wanted to ask you this from the time I got the album. I loved Dallas Could Have Been a Beatdown. What is that lyric about? I think it's really clever. It's just, I read it. I was like, what the hell does that mean?
Well, I have a great story about the origin of that song. Again, I wrote that with Jim Troglin, and I had been traveling, I think, with Black Star Riders, and I remember I was on a plane flight, and ironically, I'm speaking to you, a fine Canadian. I had been doing a deep dive on Joni Mitchell.
Cool.
Who is a genius of our time and deserves to be on the Mount Rushmore of songwriters, greatest all time. And I just started coming up with this story in my head, almost like a short story or something. It was dark and it had lots of betrayal and murder and thoughts of murder and revenge. That's the word, revenge.
Nice.
So I remember typing it on my laptop on the plane. As soon as I got home, I just put it in a Word document and I emailed it to Jim. I said, hey, man, there's some cool stuff in here. It's kind of dark, but take a look. Well, Tyson, the very next morning, I got an email back from Jim, and in the subject line, it said, Dallas could have been a beatdown.
No way.
Yeah, and I picked up the phone. I didn't even read the rest of the email. I just picked up the phone and I called him and I said, hey, brother, I don't know what that is, but we're writing that. I said, that is the greatest title I've ever heard in the history of rock, and he was thrilled. He goes, yeah. He goes, well, your story was just so dark and like, man, you're never a dark guy. It just got me fired up, man. It's like, well, it sounds like he's gonna give somebody a beat down. It's like, okay, man, great. So, I think he started messing around with some piece of music, Tyson. It was nothing related to what we wound up with. I think it was faster. And I've been listening to ZZ Top, as I do often. Yeah. Often. Always have, always will. And they got such a fat groove, and, the songs are never urgent. They always sit back in the pocket. And I was like, well, man, what if I could just do this weird mishmash of, get some ZZ Top in here, but an almost Nick Cave type of lyric, with some twisted darkness in it. Yeah. And that's what we came up with, man. And so many of my people, my fans, they love that song. They love Dallas Could Have Been a Beat Down. I fully expect to play that song in every show I do for the next 15 years, man. I love playing it, love singing it.
Such a great tune. Now, another track on that album that I thought had a clever title as well is Call It a Trade. I think the lyrics, kind of, when you sing them, they almost seem like an extension of your personality. I think that may be one of my favorite tracks as well, and I love the vocal phrasing. What can you say about that song?
Well, Tyson, I got to give buckets of credit to one of the most talented artists I've ever come across. And he and Jim are in a band together. But James Hall is a really, really special talent. And he's somebody you might want to look up. Write this down. He had a great band called Pleasure Club.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Pleasure Club. You can find that music on, Spotify and Apple Music and YouTube or whatever. But, man, Call It a Trade is a song that James and Jim had made a recording of with their band.
Oh.
And the original title was Borrowed Soul.
Oh.
And, yeah. And as Memoirs was coming together, Jim would just feed me stuff. And sometimes it was something he did on his own. Sometimes it was something he did with someone else. Well, the bulk of the songs had already taken shape, and I needed one or two more. I wanted one or two more, rather. And I didn't know what I was looking for. I didn't know what kind of energy or tempo or whatever. And, man, it was just in a batch of tunes that Jim sent me. And the minute I heard Let me choke on your spirit. Want to roll in your hay. Want to walk in your shadow. Want to lay where you lay.
That's cool.
I was sold, man. It was like the sassiest, best, Mick Jagger, rapid fire vocal I had ever heard. And the way they sang the chorus was, and I'll give to you my borrowed soul. And that was really I think, pretty much the one change I made. I said, well, what it makes me feel like, what this guy's saying, there's a lot of desperation, like deep longing in what he's saying about this other person. Like, whatever it takes to be with you, I'm doing it. Because he's clearly made mistakes and he's trying to make amends. So instead of borrowed soul, I'm like, guys, it should say, I'll give you my heart and soul. I'll give you all of me,
Yeah.
And then I flipped, the very last line of the chorus. I'm like, the title should be Call It a Trade. It's like, I'll give you my heart and soul. You give me all this other stuff that I'm desperately in need of. And I'll definitely tell the guys, man, that you like that song. It's a very, very, very special song. Yeah.
I was listening to the album today. I was like, and then I remember it from the album and really liking it. And then I kind of focused on the lyrics a little bit more, and I'm like, this is such a killer tune. So.
Thank you, Tyson. Thank you, man. Well, for yourself, being someone that has followed my music for so long, for a song to stand out to you like that, it really says a lot. And it just makes me proud, man, that my instincts were on target. The song certainly spoke to me.
Yeah.
And there's a version of their song, The Borrowed Soul, that exists, and it's pretty note for note, man, the same song. Just a couple changes. Of course, I put a big George Harrison, Eric Clapton, While My Guitar Gently Weeps solo on the end of it. But other than that, I stayed pretty true to their version.
That's awesome. Do you do that one live?
Yes. We started doing it towards the end. We did a live stream a couple months ago of the entire Memoirs of an Uprising album. And we played all 10 songs. And
I missed that.
That one was a screamer. I've been thinking about just putting that up on YouTube, just putting it on my channel, and maybe I'll do that.
I did watch some of the stuff from your house that you were doing, your acoustic stuff, and I watched a bunch of that, and I loved it. It was awesome. And then just sometimes you just get busy, right? You can't watch everything. But at the beginning of when you were doing your live stuff, your live feeds and that, I was trying to tune in when I could, so. That was always exciting, actually.
Well, thank you, Tyson. Well, see, that just proves right there, man. It's like it's so hard to get the information to people, even the people that want it, even the people that would absolutely want to know. It's hard to poke through all the noise. Good God, man, this year more than ever. There's so much chaos in the world.
Yeah.
Sometimes, man, I almost feel bad. I almost feel like a carnival barker, trying to get people to, throw darts at the balloon game just to, raise money. It's, because there's so much, serious issues going on these days. But I feel like I do a pretty good job of being respectful of that and not getting crazy with it. We're certainly very active on social media right now with the release of the new song and certainly the live stream that we're doing Friday.
Yes, and I was just going to bring that up. So tell me a little bit about that, because you also have a special guest as well.
Yeah, man. So we knew Battle Lessons was coming out Friday, September 25th. And I'm like, wow, what can we do? We're stuck in this coronavirus situation. People are still at home. There's no concerts. What do we do? Well, I have been friends with Richie Faulkner from Judas Priest for over a decade. We met even before he started playing at Priest, which is fascinating because He's from Great Britain.
Yeah.
And so the craziest thing happened, man. In the 2019, Richie and his girlfriend moved to Nashville, bought a house, moved to Nashville.
Oh, wow.
So I was thrilled. So we, got together immediately. And of course, Richie knows my wife, Linda, and our whole family. He's just one of the nicest, easygoing people you could ever hope to meet, man. And it's a bonus that he's a world-class metal hard rock guitarist. I mean, one of the best of all time, man.
Yeah.
I just literally, on a personal level, if I'm going to listen to fiery metal guitar playing, I want to listen to Richie Faulkner. No one else I would put above him in that genre. No one.
Yeah.
So back, I guess it was when we did the Memoirs of an Uprising live stream. He had watched it and was like, "Hey, man, it sounded great. And you guys look like you're having fun. Hey, if you ever want, an extra guitar, let me know. I'm at home. I got nothing going on." And I think that was definitely what planted the seed for me. So when I started thinking about, the battle lessons coming out, we wanted to do something special. This is also the 50th anniversary, as big a giant number as that is. This is the 50th anniversary of Thin Lizzy.
Wow.
50 years ago, Phil Lynott and Brian Downey put a band together. And I just thought, wow, man, what if we did a little tribute to Thin Lizzy? And I knew, of course, I got to have two guitars. You're not going to play those songs without another guitar player. It wouldn't be right.
Yeah.
So I reached out to Richie. He could not get the word yes out of his mouth fast enough, Tyson.
That's so cool.
Because as much as he loves, Priest and Michael Schenker and UFO and all that stuff, he loves Thin Lizzy just as much. So we had he and I got together a couple times one-on-one just to kind of, hand out the parts and figure out who was going to play what. But we had a proper rehearsal with the guys on Saturday. And brother, it is going to be insane. It sounds incredible. We're having so much fun. And it's going to be hard to try and look like rough and tumble rock guys because we're just going to be like giddy school kids. You know what I mean? It's it's one thing for me to play in Lizzy, with Scott Gorham and the guys, and it's just a different experience for me now because I'm singing all the songs as well.
Yeah.
And I love those lyrics. I love those songs so much. So it's fun for me at a whole other level now to present it in this fashion.
Is it a challenge to play them and sing them?
Yes, it absolutely is. About half the songs I have played at one time or another in my own bar bands, or some of the stuff I've covered. Brother Kane played Jailbreak, The Boys Are Back in Town, and that kind of stuff. But man, when you get into some of the tracks, man, like Black Rose and Chinatown and Emerald, those are difficult to play the guitar part.
Yeah, that's why.
Phil was singing them and playing bass.
I know.
A lot of times he's just kind of padding, the root note of the chord or whatever, and the guitars were pretty busy. So, not going to deny, man, it took a little practice and some training. Here at home, I would pull the songs up on my little rig here in my studio, and I would literally stand here with my Les Paul on and sing along. It's kind of like walking and chewing gum at the same time. If you let it get in your head, man, it'll get harder than it should be. So definitely a challenge.
Oh, no doubt. I actually you're mentioning about Les Pauls. I don't know if I told you this. I got robbed last year, and I lost 4 guitars.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and
brother, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, and one was I had a 97 Les Paul. I lost that. So nothing's been recovered, but I've replaced the 4 guitars and everything. But I just got a new Gold Top 2 weeks ago, and I am just loving it. I think.
Wow, brother. Well, congratulations. On getting another guitar. I'm really sorry to hear that.
Thanks, man.
That's a shame. That's got to be a really tough experience to go through.
Yeah, it's kind of like a kick in the teeth a little bit when you initially come home. And I mean, I lost 200 vinyls too. So it was just like, wow. It was like crazy. So, and then other stuff. It was a lot of money of stuff that was stolen. It was like a full home invasion. I was away for Labor Day weekend. So anyways, but I mean, it'll never,
wow.
Yourself, there's certain guitars that you can never replace. If you lose them, it's like, man, I've got so many memories with this guitar, so that's a hard part, but getting new stuff is kind of like, okay, well, now I've got to break that into, so in 10 years time, I'll have memories of those guitars. So, and I'm sure.
Yeah, I almost feel like you got that new guitar and it holds an even extra value because it's the next chapter for you, for your love of playing guitar. Now you can take all those great experiences you had with the other guitars and just channel it into this one.
Yeah.
And it almost does make this new guitar even that much more special. Yeah, that's tough, buddy. I'm really sorry to hear about that. But good on you for having
you know what?
As they say, you tighten up your bootstraps and you keep on trucking. That's all you can do.
Exactly. And that's all you can do, right? You can't dwell on it. You just got to move forward and, keep a smile on your face and go, okay, well, I'll figure it out, or, thank God for insurance. I will say that, right?
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure.
So I'm going to let you go in a minute, but there was one thing I wanted to ask you, and it's kind of going back to the Seeds album. My ultimate favorite song when that album came out, and still to this day, I think on that album is High Speed Freezing. I love. Oh man, how many times
I think you told me that, man. That's so awesome. That's so awesome.
I was always curious about that opening riff. Was that something that you had been working around and then kind of progressed a song into it? Or was it just like written and that's just how, it just progressed into that song? Because that riff is killer.
Thank you, brother. That riff is so rooted in my deep love of Pat Travers.
Yes. Maybe we did talk about this before.
Yeah, the Pat Travers band, that Crash and Burn album, of course, was kind of seminal because it had Snorting Whiskey, it had Is This Love, his cover of the Bob Marley song, and then of course the live record that they did together. I mean, man, that band, Travers, Pat Thrall, Mars Cowling on bass guitar, that dude was the GOAT in my mind then. He is the GOAT in my mind to this day.
Yeah.
And then of course the legend Tommy Aldridge on drums.
Yeah.
What a band.
Yeah.
So yeah, that riff was definitely influenced in that. And I want to say, Tyson, there was a minute there I thought it might just be an instrumental.
Oh, really? Okay.
And I took it down to band practice one night, and we were going through a bunch of ideas, and I was stuck on it. I just had the riff, a verse vibe, and a chorus vibe, like just where it opened up. I hadn't even put lyrics to it yet.
Yeah.
And Scott Collier, he did the simplest thing, man. He just went to his hi-hat and started doing 16th notes, and the minute he went there, I heard this other chord, to take the song into. And it just totally opened it up for me, man. I'm like, wow, that's where it needs to go. And we finished the song on the spot, and I got so fired up about it, I think I went home and worked on the lyrics that very next day.
Wow.
And my brother-in-law worked in the coal mines in Kentucky for years and years and years. And he told me once that, they got this machinery underground, and of course it's under a lot of pressure, there's a lot of weight, there's a lot of fuel to keep these things moving and getting the coal, out of these mines. And he said, sometimes there'll be a malfunction and these machines essentially kind of explode. Not in a gaseous way, but it almost blows up. And he said that they call it a high-speed come apart.
Oh.
You know, like, hey, we got a high-speed come apart down here. Well, dude, I just thought that was the greatest thing I'd ever heard in my life.
That's cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So high speed came from that, and I don't know what the hell I was thinking, man. High speed freezing, you know, just
Fit though. Fit's good.
You know, it's something to do with struggle and making it through it and persevering. That's always been a theme in most of my songs from the very first Brother Kane record. There's always going to be a couple songs about that ethic because it's almost like self-therapy for me, I guess, Tyson. For you know,
and is that the only time that you swore on a Brother Kane song?
I think so.
I think it is.
I think so.
I always loved that line. More deserving fucks are on the, what was it, on their way or on the way or whatever.
On their way.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I think you're right. Well spotted, sir. I think that was the only time. And it really kind of blows past you. It's not like it's...
No, you can't, unless you really read or you're really focusing, you don't notice it, right?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like a Zach De La Rocha line or...
no.
Or, you know, anything like that. It's almost said in a way of a conversation, like you're just telling a story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not... It
wasn't. It doesn't. Honestly, sorry. It's not like, you know how like some bands purposely have to swear to make, you know, like that's just what they do. It's like you said, it's getting the point across, and it's very subtle, right?
Well, thank you, man. I'm a big fan of Jason Isbell. Are you familiar with Jason Isbell?
I don't think so.
Yeah, man, you need to look him up. You'll thank me for it the next time you see me. Jason Isbell.
Jason.
Okay. Incredible songwriter. He's also got a band moniker as well, Jason Isbell and the 400 Units. But he made most of his solo stuff in the beginning was very acoustic based. He's an incredible lyricist, an incredible writer, very inspiring to me. But he had a song on the album he put out in like 2016, and he had this kind of an off-spoken line like, oh yeah, this bullshit story about the Civil War. Well, somebody along the path, they put a, what is the sticker? An advisory sticker?
Yeah. Special, yeah. I'm explicit, whatever.
And it became laughable. It's like, what? You're going to put a sticker on for that because he said bullshit? Because again, it was said in the same way as that line in High Speed Freezing.
And I don't think you guys had a sticker on the album.
Oh no, hell no! I would have been disappointed if we'd have had a sticker. That would have been. Look, if you're going to get a sticker, it better be Rage Against the Machine. You know,
exactly.
Don't make me have to find it. Don't make me have to dig for it and see. Oh, what is the sticker all about?
Where's that word? Where's that word? Where is it? I haven't found it yet.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Because in our case with Seeds, it would have been at like the 2.5 minute mark on the very last song.
Yeah.
On a 12-song album. It's like, come on.
And then someone would be like, I waited all this time for that? Like, seriously?
Exactly.
Oh, that's too much.
Exactly.
Well.
Tyson, dude, you are so fantastic. I'm going to get ready for this next interview. Listen, man, I reiterate, it was a pleasure to see your name on the call sheet. And, man, all the best to you and your family. It was great seeing you in Memphis.
You too.
And I feel really confident our paths are going to cross again. And thank you for all your kind words about the new song. And I cannot wait for you to hear the other songs. I think you're going to be surprised at some of the stuff.
Oh, I can't wait. Well, I wish you the best of luck with it, man. And thanks for coming on the show today, man. It was so great. And it was great to talk to you again. And yes, I'm sure our paths will meet again somewhere along the line. So.
Guaranteed, brother.
Okay.
Guaranteed. Thank you so much, Tyson.
Okay.
Take care, my man.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
All right. All right, bye. Bye.
I can tell things are different. She's got a way that I can't explain.